Hello, everybody. Today we're going to review our first user, who is a friend of mine, actually, who I asked to share their story so we can have our first datas to look at and information. And she was kind enough to do that. So basically, she was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, and now she's in remission, and she don't have any symptoms anymore except some, but related to what the damage the inflammation caused when she had rheumatoid arthritis. So she now can function pretty much normally, but she explained all of this in her story. So we're gonna read this together. Let's go. So first we get her information, so patient ID, age, she's young when it started. And then she also picked up a badge, which is stable, sharing experience, so it means she's in remission. She gave scores for her symptoms of right now, but she's in remission, so we're not even going to look at it because it doesn't really matter in that case. So let's read her story. I'm going to read it. I was a perfectly healthy 18 years old who never had never bothered about my health until signs of joint swelling and daily fever started creeping into my life. Then, I was ultimately diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. My condition was deteriorating so quickly that within months I was in a wheelchair. Thinking about who I used to be, who I could have become without the illness, and who I have now become is always painful. While my friends were moving on with their life, I was stuck in a wheelchair, unable to function like a normal person. Bouts of flare-ups are always accompanied by bouts of depression. Fortunately, my loving family has always been beside me and supported me through everything. It's been a long journey, and for now, I've come to accept the situation and see the illness as an experience that shifted my outlook on life. So she was perfectly healthy, then suddenly got sick with rheumatoid arthritis. So here's everything that she took. Medication, she took methotrexate, 10 milligram a week. Folic acid, which is, I think it's vitamin B9, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong. 5 milligram a day. For supplements, she took turmeric, which is a well-known anti-inflammatory compound. You have also the brands. It's really nice. She added the brand. Really cool. And krill oil, which I think is also known to be anti-inflammatory, pretty popular in rheumatoid arthritis people. As probiotics, that's a really interesting one. As you know, we know that autoimmune disease have a link to the microbiome. We don't exactly know how it works, but we know that there's changes in the flora that are corresponding to different autoimmune diseases. Like each autoimmune disease has a fingerprint of microbiome composition. So we know it has a link, but we can't explain exactly what this link is. Some bacteria have been associated with rheumatoid arthritis, are very specific to this disease and can even cause it, apparently. So she took a probiotic called Miarisen, Clostridium buticurum. I guess that's 9 a day. She took vitamin D, which also is very well known for autoimmune disease. She took quercetin with bromelain. I'm not sure what it does. Thiamine, that's vitamin B1, very anti-inflammatory. Also look up for deficiencies called beriberi. Iron supplement. Then she said lifestyle change. She did stress management, which, as we know, is always very important when you're dealing with any kind of chronic illness. So let's see what she wrote in effective interventions. I'm going to read it. Learning about the link between gut health and inflammation was a breakthrough for my rheumatoid arthritis. After getting a microbiome test and taking targeted probiotics, so that means she took probiotic based on the microbiome test, I noticed a significant improvement in my inflammation. I was even able to start walking again after being wheelchair bound for a long time. My inflammation level stayed stable. I was able to have my meds reduced and no longer have to take prednisone. I also follow a specific diet to avoid food that trigger my symptoms. So that's an important one. Like people with autoimmune disease report that they need to find out what food they have reaction to, and then they need to avoid those foods to lower the general inflammation and lower their symptoms. So I'm glad that she didn't say exactly what diet she did, because everybody's different. So some people are going to have allergy to dairy. Some people it's going to be to gluten. Some people it's going to be to some specific food, for example, nightshades family. But it can be pretty much anything, right? It can be like any food that you have in your daily diet that's messing you up. It can even be peanut butter, what I know, because there's some anti-nutrients specific to peanut butter. Again, like trigger inflammatory reaction if you have leaky gut or that type of stuff. So you want to be aware of like what you eat and really try to change it and try to go on like this. It's called elimination diet, which are diets that are minimalistic in the sense that they avoid most trigger. So then when you reintroduce the food, you can see, oh, that food was messing me up, but I didn't even know about it because I was eating every day and I thought it was something else. So that's a good thing. Look up for your diet, and microbiome test can be a good start also to know what's going on in your microbiome, and do you have some bacteria that the science can say this bacteria is linked to rheumatoid arthritis or to other type of immune disease, and then what strategies can you take to get rid of them, which can then be a good start to know like, oh, if I'm doing that, maybe it's going to improve it because it's going to kill this bacteria that's so much associated with rheumatoid arthritis. So let's go on. She said that because of my joints are still weak after a long time in a wheelchair, I also have stiff elbow from the damage of area. So that's leftover inflammation, let's say, after having so high inflammation for so long. So then she specified this timeline. Started having symptoms in 2022, diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis on August. And I think somewhere, I don't know, but it seems that she got healed recently. So she said that the symptoms was joint swelling and slight fever. She said 0 out of 10 because right now she don't have those anymore. She's really good. So problem solution, she said that symptom, high inflammation with food sensitivities, taking the right species of probiotics, Clostridium, Botulinum, relieved that basically. That one is a very interesting one. And the next one, this one, increased inflammation after having breakfast. And she said oil pulling helped with that. So that's something that not many people know about, but basically autoimmune disease has been very, very much linked by science to oral microbiome. The oral microbiome play a key role in the development and process of autoimmune disease. What happens is you have something called dysbiosis, where the microbiome in your mouth get basically messed up, and you have the wrong species in the wrong ratios and not enough good species and stuff like this. And what happens is that every time you eat, those bacteria multiply and they take a hold of your mouth. And basically every time you eat, the food take the bacteria in and make it travel to your stomach. So you basically perpetuate the cycle of inflammation by bringing nasty bacteria from your mouth to your digestive system. So you want to avoid that. And a way to do that is actually oil pulling. And oil pulling is really good for that. Also teeth brushing. You can also do antibacterial mouthwash with, I don't recommend alcohol-based, but you can do one with essential oil mouthwash, basically, with some antibacterial essential oil. And people, I've seen testimonies of it, people say that they have improvement in their autoimmune symptom from doing oil pulling, for example. Because then when they eat, they don't attach all those bacteria and bring them into the digestive system where they create massive inflammation. And I think that's what the person is saying there. Oil pulling helped lower inflammation after breakfast, because when they were eating their breakfast, they were bringing all the bacteria down, and that was creating a flare-up just from the pathogenic bacteria. So look up for that. Have a perfect your mouth protocol, like teeth brushing, oil pulling. Do the maximum you can do. increase the frequency. Maybe you can do it in the morning, middle of the day, and in the evening, 3 times a day. If you're really sick, you have to try this because it can really help you. Then she said that she created what we call modulating the immune system with vitamin D3 and the probiotic she took. That's really interesting too. She recommended the Keystone approach and a website called keystonebook.com. Yeah, that's about it. And so that's our first user. I hope we're gonna have many more, and I'll be doing a video for our first users, so to bring attention to the website and also share some valuable information with you guys. I hope you can share your story if you don't mind, and if you have the time, if you have the energy, so we can basically grow the website together and have some more interesting information, right? Because everybody has something to share. So many people have tried so many different things from so many different medicine, some is Chinese medicine, some is traditional medicine. There's so much stuff, so everybody can share a piece of the puzzle. So I wish you a really good day, and please like the video, subscribe, and have a good day.